Introduced to the TCG in 2013's core set Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, the Dragon Rulers are a fan-beloved archetype, and are renowned for being possibly the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh's history to never reach Tier 0 status. Divided into two broad categories, the Level 7 Adult Rulers and the Baby Rulers, whose levels vary, these cards packed a number of powerful effects into their royal frames. The Adult Rulers, of which there were originally 4, consisted of Blaster, Tidal, Redox, and Tempest. Each had effects to special summon themselves by banishing monsters of their corresponding attribute or dragons, a powerful discard effect, and an effect when the monster is banished. The Baby Rulers, rolling 4 deep as well, consisted of Burner, Steam, Reactin, and Lightning, and each had effects to discard themselves and one monster of corresponding attribute, or a dragon, to special summon the associated Adult Ruler from deck. These monsters formed a powerful resource loop that allowed for significant extension, recovery, and explosive playmaking. Eventually, every single one of the 8 cards would find themselves banned, in a move that inevitably sealed the deck away in our collective memory. Until now, power creep is an unforgiving mistress, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Konami has been slowly freeing the rulers from the Forbidden and Limited list, giving all the rulers shiny quarter-century secret rare printings, and on May 1st, in the new TCG set Alliance Insight, at long last we will be getting 6 new pieces of legacy support for one of Yu-Gi-Oh's most celebrated strategies of all time. In today's video, I'm going to be going over each of the newly revealed cards and giving my thoughts on them. All in all, we will be getting 2 new Baby Rulers, whose corresponding Adult Rulers are both Xyz monsters, a big bad ruler to lord over them all, and a quick play spell. Let's get into it. We'll be covering this new support by attribute pairing, so let's begin with Spectre, Dragon Ruler of Rays. Aside from sounding like an early-era Power Rangers villain, this long-awaited light attribute ruler is a level 2 light dragon with 600 attack, 1000 defense, and 2 effects. The first allows you to discard this card and 1 light or dragon monster to add 2 Dragon Ruler monsters from deck to hand except itself. The second effect allows you to banish this card and 1 light or dragon monster from your grave to target 1 Chasmatis, Dragon Ruler of Auroras, in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use once of these effects per turn and only once that turn. Pretty incredible. Searching for 2 while remaining card neutral is becoming pretty common in the game right now, and allows you to set up your graveyard for summoning rulers later in the turn while searching basically whatever you need to continue your plays. Its second effect, which isn't usable the same time you search, allows you to banish materials from grave in order to bring back its associated Xyz monster, which we'll cover next. Pretty useful for follow-up. The adult form of Spectre is Chasmatis, who takes the idea of the adult rulers in a completely new direction by being an extra deck monster. Chasmatis is a rank 7 light dragon monster with 3000 attack and 1600 defense, requires 2 level 7 dragon type monsters as material, and has 2 effects, each of which is usable once per turn. The first effect allows you to, as a quick effect, send a level 7 dragon ruler monster from your deck to the graveyard as cost, and detach 1 overlay unit from this card to have this effect copy the discard effect of the sent ruler. The second effect allows you to, if this card is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, special summon 1 dragon ruler from your grave or banishment. Chasmatis is an incredibly flexible and interesting card. For those of you not in the know, the original Dragon Ruler's discarded effects included Monster Reborn, Rhoda, Targeted Destruction, and Foolish Burial? I'm not going to freak out and say this is as bad as Lavolval Chain. Rank 7 with dragon material is less generic than any level 4s, and you have to play a lot of engine pieces to make it work, but let's not pretend this isn't crazy. An incredibly adaptive effect that allows you to read the game state and adjust your play to that need. Let's not even get into foolishing a ruler as cost argument. That's ridiculous on any card that has it, and I feel it's going to be more and more common as the game continues. The on-destruction effect is cool, and is going to twist your opponent's arm as they find non-destruction forms of removal for your king or suffer the consequences. I really like what they did with the light rulers. From heaven's illustrious halls to the very crevices where shadows dwell, we have the dark attribute rulers. Starting with the baby, Nebulous Dragon Ruler of Shadows, a level 2 dark dragon with an inverted stat line from Spectre at 1000 attack and 600 defense, reflecting the dark attribute's aggressive nature, and an equally inverted set of effects. The first effect allows you to discard this card and 1 dark or dragon monster to target 2 of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes except for itself, and special summon them while preventing them from attacking. The second effect allows you to banish itself and one dark or dragon monster from your grave to target one Eclipsis, Dragon Ruler of Woes, in your grave and special summon it. You can only use one of these effects per turn and only once per turn. I love the inversion of Spectre in this card, keeping the same broad brush themes as the Light Ruler, but pulling from the shadowing banish zone is perfect. I think this card will definitely see play. Special summoning from banishment is a very powerful effect, especially in a deck like Dragon Ruler, which is going to be banishing many monsters per turn. This represents a rank 7 Xyz play out of nowhere, which can be game determinative. Incredible. The adult form is the aforementioned Eclipsis, Dragon Ruler of Woes. On top of being difficult for me to pronounce, it's a masterclass in demonstrating that just because something is cute and cuddly as a baby, doesn't mean it can't grow into a monstrosity. Eclipsis is a rank 7 Dark Dragon monster with 2700 attack and 1900 defense. Don't ask me why there's a 300 point swing between the Light and Dark Dragons, I don't know. A summoning requirement of 2 level 7 dragon monsters and 2 effects. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can target one level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler monster in your graveyard or banishment, special summon the corresponding adult ruler mentioned on it from your deck or banishment, and then shuffle the target into the deck. The second effect allows you to, when your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, to detach 2 materials from this card to negate the activation and banish the card. Each of these effects is usable as a hard once per turn. They are really just letting you grab these rulers from anywhere, aren't they? I don't think I've ever seen a deck with this much wanton special summoning from deck. It's insane. The special summon effect doesn't even take an overlay unit, it just happens on summon. Granted, you need to have some setup done prior, as you have to have a baby ruler in grave or banishment, but come on, this deck does that by breathing. A spell trap negate with banishment is also completely fair and balanced, and it's a nice end board piece to a going first board. I think the decision to make the Light and Dark Dragon Rulers Xyz monsters was a bit daring, but I honestly think that it paid off. Both have very rewarding effects that differ from one another enough to warrant running both, and the deck looks to be shaping into a very flexible combo strategy. We leave the realm of attribute-centered dragons to bow before the king of all dragon rulers. Disaster, Dragon Ruler of Paranormalities, a rank 7 light dragon with 0 attack and 0 defense and 2 effects. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in your grave or banishment. Attach them to this card as material, then you can banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attributes as the monsters attached to this card. This effect is only usable once per turn. If this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind Dragon Ruler monsters as material, it gains 4600 attack and defense and is unaffected by other card effects. Holy Paranormally, that's a monster. Basically mandatory, as there aren't going to be many duels where the first effect isn't live. Every deck in the game has to run monsters of some attribute, and with enough planning and setup, you can effortlessly board wipe with non-targeting banishment. Ridiculous. The second effect is crazy too, requiring a lot more setup, and I imagine not being something achievable every game. But a 4600 towers is nothing to turn your nose up at. This card is great, but you may be noticing the effect happens on summon, not as a quick effect, and wondering if this is only useful for breaking established boards and not as interruption. Well, hold your hand traps, Ever McBeaver, I have one more card to discuss. Drago Calamity is a quick play spell that depicts the 2 adult Light and Dark Dragon Rulers slugging it out, and has 2 effects. The first allows you to special summon a Dragon Ruler from your hand, graveyard, or banishment, and then immediately Xyz summon a Dragon Ruler monster using only Dragon Rulers you control as material. The second allows you to banish this card from your grave, and return any number of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes to the grave. You can only use one of these effects per turn, and only once that turn. There you go. Quick effect, a special a ruler, and quick Xyz. While this card is just generally useful, it's especially valuable at enabling a disaster Xyz on your opponent's turn, mid-setup, to board wipe at a critical choke point. The graveyard effect allowing you to restock your grave with materials to banish for the summon of more rulers is also a welcome bonus. The card would likely have been playable without that effect, but why not? Shower our illustrious rulers with love. They've been locked away for far too long. Now for the verdict. Are these cards enough to hail the return of the king to competitive play? Probably. While the deck doesn't have much of the card advantage in the hand that is so valuable nowadays, it makes up for it with this really interesting card economy from grave and banishment that you see in decks like Malice. I think the in-archetype options in the extra deck are powerful and flexible, and cards like Big Eye or Draco Sack are still good. There's no reason Dragon Rulers can't Xyz summon Draco Sack, make Cherubini, and send Pydra. My nose has been out of the competitive meta for nearly the whole past year, so perhaps I'm not the most reliable voice on this subject, but dragons seem to be the rage right now, and I'm happy that the cards that were once the royal family of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are receiving the love that they deserve. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and remember to wash behind your ears.